The flight to Montalvia was long, the hum of the engines a steady, dull roar that mirrored the exhaustion settling deep into my bones. I stared out the small window, watching the clouds pass like a slideshow of my last 8 years. 8 years of compromises. 8 years of understanding his stress, his career, his need for perfect timing. 8 years of ignoring the little red flags, the late nights, the cancelled dates, the slow integration of Natalie into parts of his life I used to occupy. I rested my hand on my still flat stomach, a surge of protective warmth blossoming amidst the cold ache of heartbreak. "We'll be okay," I whispered softly to the child growing inside me. "You're going to be a prince or princess of Montalvia. You won't ever have to wait for someone to find the time for you." When I landed in Montalvia, the transition was jarring but immediate. I went from being Madison Blake, the supportive, invisible girlfriend of a CEO, to Princess Madison of the House of Lauron. My parents were waiting for me at the royal estate. The moment I stepped out of the Blacktown car, my mother, Queen Beatrice, rushed forward, wrapping me in a fierce, tearful embrace. "My darling girl," she murmured, stroking my hair. "You're home. You're finally home." My father, King Alistair, stood behind her, his eyes shining with unshed tears. He placed a heavy, reassuring hand on my shoulder. "We missed you, Madison, and we will ensure that neither you nor our grandchild will ever be treated as an afterthought again." The next few days were a whirlwind of preparations. The royal court was buzzing. The announcement of my return and impending marriage to Duke Devon Ryder, a distant cousin to Mason, though from the vastly wealthier and titled European branch of the Ryder family, was to be made at the end of the week. Devon was everything Mason wasn't. Where Mason was guarded and always calculating his next corporate move, Devon was open, incredibly warm, and fiercely protective. He had known about the arrangement since we were children. He knew about my pregnancy, and he had accepted it without a second of hesitation. "I have loved you since we were playing hide-and-seek in the palace gardens, Madison," Devon told me on my third day back, as we walked through those same gardens. He gently took my hand, his dark eyes sincere. "I know your heart is bruised right now. I don't expect you to love me tomorrow, or even next month, but I promise to be a father to this child, and a husband to you, in every sense of the word. You will never have to beg for my time." I looked at him, feeling a genuine smile touch my lips for the first time in weeks. "Thank you, Devon. I think I could be very happy with you." Meanwhile, back in New York, the silence I left behind was finally beginning to deafen Mason. It was day 5. Mason sat in his immaculate corner office, staring at his phone. The screen was dark. No missed calls. No texts complaining about him missing dinner. No apologies. He frowned, loosening his tie. The silent treatment had gone on long enough. He had expected me to crack by day 3, to call him crying, begging him to come home so we could talk it out. "Natalie," he called out, his voice sharp. Natalie hurried in, a clipboard clutched to her chest. "Yes, Mr. Ryder? Clear my schedule for the afternoon. I'm going home." He stood up, grabbing his suit jacket. "Madison needs to learn her lesson, but I suppose I can be the bigger person and break the ice." Natalie's smile faltered slightly, but she quickly masked it. "Of course, Mr. Ryder. Should I order some flowers for you to take to her?" "No," Mason said dismissively. "She doesn't need to be rewarded for throwing a tantrum." He drove back to the suburban villa, expecting to find me sitting on the couch, watching TV, ready to apologize for pressuring him. He unlocked the front door and stepped inside. "Madison," he called out, tossing his keys onto the console table. Silence answered him. He walked into the living room. It felt hollow. The throw pillows I had picked out were gone. The framed photos on the mantel were missing. A cold prickle of unease started at the base of his neck. He took the stairs 2 at a time, throwing open the door to our master bedroom. The closet doors were wide open. My side was completely, utterly empty. The vanity was cleared of all my makeup. The nightstand was bare. "Madison," his voice cracked